next presenter is Max Petroshoon, who will be talking about harvesting food in February at the UMF Greenhouse Project. And just to put a plug in, please see Max or Dr. Borges if you're interested in the fall course on the greenhouse. Thank you, Max.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Max Petroshoon. I'm here to talk about the ENV 240 class. This is actually kind of a bad title. Kim and I were kind of stumped for a title. We thought it was just kind of cool that we're harvesting carrots in February, but I'm actually here to talk about a lot of different aspects of the greenhouse class. Little background information. The greenhouse was a permanent structure 2 years ago, and the money was allocated through Student Senate. And objectives, it was supposed to be a low input greenhouse, so there was going to be no heat in the system. We were going to grow everything in the ground, so this isn't like Pelletiers up the road where we're growing stuff on trays. And there is, like, you can't just grow in the greenhouse all year round. There is a dead season, so we can't harvest in roughly January and late December, so there is a dead period. But then Elliot Coleman actually gave a lecture here, and he talked about a movable greenhouse structure. And benefits of this, you can warm the soil and improve production, hit the market faster than normal other growers. And what you're actually doing is warming the soil. So you're not warming the air of the plot, you're actually increasing the soil. So say moving it on plot 1, you would increase it to soil of, say, Portland temperature. So you could get plants in the ground 2 weeks faster than, say, up here. So that's really all you're doing. Now, I was left with the task of taking this permanent structure and making it movable. So as you can see, we had to put it on a track system. Things that I had to do, I had to work backwards. So I couldn't just lay down the track and build a greenhouse on it. I actually had to install support to it, because if not, it's like a kind of like a caterpillar, and without support, it would just flex and everything would bend and break. So some supports are the low purlins. Those are just 2 bars on the sides. All the material that I used for this project was top rail fencing. This is standard chain link fencing tubing. So it was really easy to work with. Angle ties, these are actually more for the actual twisting support that I was saying. They're installed at like 45-degree angles on the first 2 hoops. So that was done by just cutting it, smushing it in the vise, and drilling it. Installation of the wheels, this was like kind of the most tedious task. It was just drilling every single hoop and installing wheels on it. Installation of the track, it was pretty basic, except we had to use a laser level to make sure everything lined up. Graded everything. This weed barrier helps because you don't have to worry about weeds coming up every time you move it. 2 classes actually move this greenhouse. You don't need a tractor. It's a really easy system. Anchoring, we actually have a U-bolt anchoring system. We don't have this J-bolt, but it goes around the hoops and basically holds it there just so the wind doesn't blow the greenhouse right onto the soccer field. But there's other things that are going on. We have a contract with Airmark. It was 3 years in the making. It's kind of hard to do, but basically the only thing out of that contract came is that we can't supply them with beet greens. So that's it. But there's a strong bond with the students of the greenhouse and Airmark. We have a working relationship with them. We've already given them 14 pounds of spinach and 5 pounds of mixed greens. They like it. It's better quality than what they can buy. We've given them 22 quarts of carrots in February, hence harvesting carrots in February. But other aspects of the class that I kind of wanted to talk about is record keeping. There's a lot of aspects. We talk about pest control, pest issues, but I think the most important thing is record keeping, because I'm a little old school and I like to try to just remember everything in my head, but can't do that. So we have calendars We mark planting dates, harvest dates, just keeping on top of it, it helps. And another good thing about the class is I took this because I'd like to use this on a personal level eventually in the future. And this class is great for resources, just knowing your resources. All the building materials came out of Johnny's Select Seeds for the specialty products. We always work with MOFCA. We have to go to the Common Ground Fair. It's mandatory. And there's Elliott Coleman, of course. But any questions? No? All
right. We will have time at the end as you're thinking about questions for any of the presenters. Zach, if you want to, feel free to come up. Go ahead, Scott. Max, I believe you have a question here.
Yeah,
Yes, right.
yeah. So you are selling produce to Aramark now?
Yeah, we have a contract. It's X amount of dollars for whatever produce we give them throughout the year.
And so far you said it's 22 quarts of carrots?
22 quarts of carrots, 14 pounds of spinach, and 6 pounds of mustard.
Is that kind of delivered to the greenhouse?
Oh, I think we can push it more. Right now we have beets in there, we have onions. It's just really a matter of how far we want to take it. Yes, Ashley?
Can you participate if they're not in the class?
That's a good question. That should be fielded in more.
Yes, there's some opportunities for volunteering.
Other questions for Max? We have a few minutes. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Zachary Beal, who will be speaking on the benefits of technology. Zachary?
Hi, I'm Zach. Like Dave said, I'm here for a couple of reasons. I'm representing the honor scholars on campus, and Professor Bergman knows I can't say no, so he asked me to do this. Benefits of technology, how to be effective in the classroom, why we should use it. It's engaging. When technology is used by both students and teachers, the students take an active role in their learning. The students can also help one another more easily or help the teacher with explaining their lessons or difficult material. When students take an active role in their learning, they remember material better and are more excited to attend class. Motivation and self-esteem. Students feel more motivated and have a higher self-esteem when they are able to control their own learning pace. Students make an effort to learn the material while in class instead of cramming before an exam because they are able to contribute to in-class discussion and classroom activities. Collaboration. Technology improves the ability to work as a team, and it also provides more opportunities for peer help. Collaboration is an important skill in the workplace, and learning it early on will provide more opportunities in the future, such as at the work in the job market. Ways you can use it, or review games. Having a review game that follows a game show style, such as Jeopardy, will cause students to be more involved in their learning and more knowledgeable about in-class subjects. Students will be more willing to participate in class if they find it interesting. Historical timeline. Students can construct a timeline to accompany their in-class learning and gain a better understanding of congruent events. A timeline is an interactive learning method that helps students be able to learn important dates and visualize them. Skype. Students could use Skype to attend a class when they are too ill to leave bed or unable to attend class due to weather conditions, like we had in the winter. Skype could make it easier for students who miss class to stay on the same page as the rest of the class. Facebook. Groups. Making a class into a group allows students to use Facebook as a tool to remind themselves of important dates such as tests. Groups allow students to be a part of a team and develop important skills. Group chat. Group chat can be used for students to collaborate on projects or for them to have discussions without having to use fuel or cash to get to one another. Using group chat would lead to students having to provide input for their project or discussion because they are not in person and cannot rely on their own body mechanics. Social interaction. Shy students tend to stray away from contributing to a discussion while in class. Facebook could change this because people gain a new sense of confidence behind a computer screen because they do not actually have to speak or worry about people looking at them. Some harmful effects. Smartphones. Smartphones are a useful technology, but they cause students to worry more about Facebook posts than And the combination of smartphones and computers lead to a student being distracted even when they have their work in front of them. Distractions, Facebook, YouTube, email are all things students can use to distract themselves from a teacher or their work. Technology can hinder our learning and allow us to avoid the task we set ourselves to accomplish. Game mentality. This generation is used to playing video games. And we will play them to distract ourselves. Students will need to tear themselves away from the video games and instead strive towards getting their work done and then setting time aside to play video games. Benefits, productivity. Technology can improve a classroom through the use of allowing students to be more engaged in discussions. It can also lead to students not falling behind and being on task inside and outside the classroom. Technology can push students to be involved inside the classroom and take initiative outside the interaction. Students can use social media to find a voice that they would not have in public. Students and teachers also could use technology as a way to remind themselves of important dates and establish connections. It'll also help prepare this generation or generations that use technology for the workforce. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Have a nice day. Any questions?
Did you actually apply any of this to a classroom session?
No, I did not.
He didn't very eloquent. I promise I will for him. Any other questions, please?